Championships at Nottingham for day 2. The first game this morning we've got for you is Kayak Polo Barra from Portugal and Wildwater Kayak Club from Ireland.
Yes, the teams have been warming up for some time now, which is really quite showing a lot of dedication because it is very early in the morning. It is still dark.
It's very dim anyway. We're ready to start.
What did you call me?
And the first ball goes to Wildwater Kayak in the red and black. And in the orange we have Canoe Polo Barra, orange and black. So the first attack's with Wildwater Kayak, just building their attack against the Barra defence. Ball into the centre there, nice ball in. Can he do anything with it? Shot comes off, but rebounds back into play. And Canoe Polo Barra have the attack now. Wildwater Kayak regain possession.
These second group games often very close. This is where teams can jump 2 or 3 places by winning one game as they go into the final placings. So the first group's important, but now they're fighting in their own band. They should have very close games. Should be no easy games today. Not that there ever is at this European Club Championships. Top 2 teams from each country invited to attend. The majority now of the close geographic nations will attend. It's very prestigious. Teams want to test themselves against their European neighbours. But a little cagey here just at the start. It's early and cold on a Sunday morning. Getting the joints and muscles warmed up, motivation going. The more experienced the player, the longer it takes to get warmed up.
Teams just settling into this game now, taking the time. Some great passing in the zone area there, but unfortunately it's blocked down. Barra have an attack, not making the most of that break there.
Yeah, great example of how a bad pass there just broke the whole move down. Really good break potentially from Barra's point of view, but pass fell short, and now they're in more trouble with the ball than they were when they didn't have it, coming under pressure from the Wildwater team. Long hoofing ball forwards. Can they get anyone there to back him up? Illegal tackle on him, trying to drive the player out of park to gain possession, but has actually committed a foul in doing that.
And that's gone out for a corner. Wildwater Kayak drop back into their defence now.
Yeah, Matos found a little bit of space sliding through the Wildwater defence, but his shot was really quite comfortably saved. Good personal skills controlling the pass. Very compressed attack, but no gap to be found. Holding offence called. Stopping a player running through that defence probably. Barra team trying to use speed to break down the defence, getting a runner in, delivering the ball as he comes into the defence or once he's speed bumped over them. And now they get their minute to regroup, little chat, perhaps calling a move, perhaps just settling down. Calling a move, that looked very set up, leaving number 1 there.
Off the sidebar.
Ricardo Pereira almost hiding on the goal line, drawing the players away from him and then cutting the ball back inside. Very nicely done, but couldn't finish it. And that gives a chance for Wildwater to counter-attack. Again, route 1 for them, but no product. So far, the defence is having the better of this game. Alfonso Ramos. Yesterday we saw him playing, had a good day in goal, but his team couldn't quite get themselves up the group, but he made some fantastic saves and it looks like he's going to start today the same way.
Another shot from Wildwater Kayak, again blocked down the defence, once again saving that. Referee's pulling that back for a corner. Ball must have gone out of play over the back line. And that's a shot on goal from Wildwater Kayak.
That's Derek Conway, very experienced player, been on the circuit for a long time, but still when he's got some space and he's inside that defence, that finish still good value. Great goal from Derek Conway, very confident finisher.
Long shot there from Barrow, just going over the back line to give the ball back to Wildwater Kayak.
Yes, you can understand why Barrow are keen to get the goal back as quickly as they can, but may live to regret that optimistic shot so quickly now that they're back on the defensive. And Barrow now, while Walkout will have time to just have a little talk about where they're going and what they're doing next.
That's a foul just on the 6 metre line. Pass picked up by Barrow.
That's a very good break. Oh, nicely done. Very, very nicely done. Ricardo Pereira playing the ball forward for himself with the paddle. Picking it up, and really that little flick on guaranteed him the goal. If he caught that and played it forward by hand, it would have just slowed him down a little bit. But that's the equaliser, so 1-1 now. Kayak Polo Barra from Portugal versus Wildwater Kayak from Ireland. Two western countries of Europe. Oh, that's beautifully done. That's number 1, Shane Kinsella, nicknamed Stretch. Again, another very experienced player. Him and Derek Conway, the two old hands on this team. And they're bringing home the bacon there. When the chips go down, you need a goal. They're the men they look to, and they're the men that deliver time after time. So the 1-goal lead of Wildwater Kayak restored. 2-1 they lead Kayak Polo Barra. And instant response, you can't describe it as anything other. They're straight at the other end, 1 pass, 1 dribble, 1 shot, 1 goal. Joel Ribeiro equalises, so 2-2 as we come down towards the last minute of this half.
Wildwater Kayak will look to restore their lead before half time here.
Yes, they'll be disappointed to have conceded so quickly after they scored. So often the case. Teams go back, slightly relaxed, slightly elated, and they concede a goal. But now Barra have got a chance to break again.
Wildwater Kayak trying to mark them Barra man for man, not back into their defence. They've got players free.
Oh, no, they couldn't finish that. From our commentary position, that looked like it was an easy chance, but obviously when he cut it across the goal, angles were working against him, and now the last attack. Big long ball forward, but too long. And half time comes. So tied at 2 after the first 10 minutes. Kayak Polo Barra from Portugal and Wildwater Kayak Club from Ireland. Both of these teams will have been in the top 2 of their own national division. Portugal and Ireland been on the Canoe Polo circuit. Both were represented at the first European Championships in 1993, so not newbies to this. Obviously these players wouldn't have been playing in 93. Very few people who were are still on the circuit. But it's important to realise that the maturity of how long a nation's been playing the sport, because at this level now, new countries find it quite a journey to get up to the highest level at Worlds or Continental or even at this club level championships. It's very difficult for a new club to come on the scene and drive its way to the top. It takes years, the physical preparation, but perhaps more importantly the tactical awareness, the gamesmanship that goes into being a winning club side is so difficult to master now that people do take years to do it, and that's why so many of these teams have a mix. They need the young guns to do the work and provide the enthusiasm and the firepower, but most of the more successful teams have got at least 1 or 2 heads on there that have been playing the game for a decade or so, who can control the tactics of the team, bring some leadership to the water, and talk the confidence up at half time. Moments like these, it'll be the Derek Conways and the Shane Kinsellas on the Wildwater Kayak team who'll be geeing up their young players, saying we can do this, we're in the game. The second 10 minutes is when this game is won or lost. Barra are lined up, ready to go, championing a bit there. Keen, they'll have had their version of the same team talk, I've no doubt about that. Both teams getting lined up. Referees calling them up, ready to get cracking, get on and get this game decided. 2-2 as the second half starts. And that first minor victory, the first possession off the sprint start, goes to Kayak Polo Barra of Portugal. Just to remind everybody, the Wildwater Kayak team from Ireland in the red buoyancy aids and white helmets, and the Kayak Polo Barra team in the black buoyancy aids and black helmets. And again, a slightly cagey start to the half at 2-2. I'm pretty sure both team talks will have been the first goals going to decide this. It's not always true, but it's the good thing to say. You want to be careful at the beginning of the half not to concede a goal, while at the same time you've got to try and establish some dominance.
Derek Conway bringing that first ball back down into the Wildwater Kayak hands.
Yeah, this is a good chance, but not good enough, recycling it out. Shane Kinsella to Derek Conway. The names that keep cropping up there, the names making these big plays on. That's a tremendous out the back of the hand shot, but foul committed in doing it. And Barra have the chance. So this looks like this could be end-to-end stuff, at least for a while, till the first goal of the second half is scored and one team establishes a lead. just too much traffic there, far too much traffic. Jean Matos allowed to drift in, but he was drifting in looking at a sea of paddles. Still thought he had a chance of finding a way through, but not really. Batted out for a corner. Keeps Barra on the front foot, but with no product.
So Barra building their attack again. Very mobile defence from Wild Water Kayak. They keep pushing out onto the players with the ball.
Yeah, I think their best chance of a goal here possibly is a break. I think they've got it about right. They can get a man inside, but this is where they've looked dangerous, and this is where the chance is coming. Can they deliver the ball? There's a lot of open opportunities. That is a superb pass, but just not quite controlled well enough over that range. It's an incredible ball, but not brought down to hands, and now things will swing the other way. This is a team's rolling the dice, taking their chances here. Stopped again, well closed down. I think that was probably the chance of the half so far. If that long pass had connected to hand, I think that would have been a goal, but in controlling it, just edged away from the player.
Both teams working extremely hard to try and get this first goal in the second half. Pressure on there from Wild Water Kayak on the attacker, putting the ball out again for a corner. Right in under the goal, but the shot comes off the bar, and it's a goal line throw. Can Wild Water Kayak make of this one?
Yep, and we've just seen the Wild Water Kayak's best chance at the far end, at the right-hand end, and at this end, that was definitely the best chance Barra have made in this second half. Inside ball, but couldn't quite finish it. It's going to take something special to separate these teams, I think.
Wild Water Kayak taking the time this time, just building up an opportunity for a shot on goal. Working their players into that defence. Looking for space.
Half chance has been taken now. That was definitely no more than a half chance.
Far too many paddles in the way of that one.
Yeah. Halfway through the second half, and both teams now are looking for what I'm guessing in their minds becomes the winning goal, because it's been very, very cagey, very, very evenly matched. And you do start to think now that the team can get, if a team can get a goal, they can probably settle this game. Again, just pushing a little bit too hard. This is the pressure. This is the pressure. They want this game. You can see that both teams want it. Barra back in defence, desperately hoping that they don't make a mistake. And then the Wild Water team on the ball, making just one pass too many and having to recycle it. 30 seconds left on the shot clock. That's going to drive them to do something. Ball coming in from the outside. The Barra defence holding strong. 20 seconds on the shot clock, looking for an opportunity, and Derek Conway takes a shot, but it came off the bar, across the goal, and out for a goal throw. That must have been some spin on the ball to achieve that. And now it's the Barra turn to test their attacking skills. I've built it up slowly, which has allowed the Wild Water team to get back into a defensive position. A little surprising, given that Barra have shown us they've got a very, very effective fast break in their toolbox, but didn't choose to use it there. Again, just looking to pass it inside and finding a sea of paddles. I think this is nerves now. I think they want this so much. Both teams playing a very similar tactic. And actually, by only making sort of 50% chances, they're making it hard for themselves. And again, an open goal shot, but taken early, bounced off the bottom bar. So chances coming at both ends now, but still 2-2.
Barra on the attack again, trying to get that ball through the Wildwater defence, but that's blocked down, picked up. No fast break this time, they're just taking their time. Wildwater Kayak building. Great push there from Barra on Shane Kinsella, who now has no paddles but does retrieve the ball. Bad pass there into the goalmouth, picked up by Barra. So once again, Barra on the attack.
Yeah, and this is their chance to make another fast break. I really feel as if this game probably is going to be decided by one of these breaks, because the defences have certainly stood strong in this second half. And again, the Wildwater defence has got itself set up and we're held on the outside.
I think the nerves are showing a little bit by both teams. Small mistakes costing them, not allowing them to get those goals in.
Yeah, all these shots feeling quite similar. 50-50 chance at best, being saved by the defence. I think either an open goal on the break or something very special could decide this game. And is this where the decisions get made? Wildwater risking it, pushing forwards, and they've created an opportunity for Barra now. I think by going for the win, and that's paid off. Now they've made the save. Can they get the ball away? The last good break chance they had was thwarted by a bad pass of theirs, but now they've got a Barra player down without his paddle behind their goal. Can they get this going forwards? Oh, a beautifully crafted chance, but that one spoilt for them by João Ribeiro. Fly goalkeeper, not the regular goalkeeper for the Barra team, but certainly bringing a block to the table there that kept his team in it. 2-2. Last minute or so of this game. Heroes and villains time, we used to call this.
20 seconds on the shot clock there. Turnover by Barra. And Wildwater going 5 out, man for man marking now.
Yeah, it's fantastic. This is them wanting to win it, and they've turned over possession straight away. Superb piece of defending, and this kick is going to get the ball forward. This is Derek Conway, scored the first goal and scored that one. That's
no goal. Time out. It's finished. The game's over.
After the time. How close was that? So busy watching the play. I thought Derek Conway was going to grab a last-second winner. But no, just over time. The referees explained too. I'm sure his memory will be it was just in time, but the timekeepers and the referees are calling it differently. Got a feel for them. That was a superb piece of fire. A great quick turnover, a great long ball delivery. But still, the game ends tied at 2. We'll be back with you in the next game in just a couple of minutes. The second game of the day, the 7:30 game. Obviously a nice brisk start today, and this could be a really lively one if we're lucky. We have Liebherr from Germany versus ACNCA of France, and off the sprint, Liebherr win the ball and have scored first. Liebherr in the black kayaks, black helmets and pink buoyancy aids, and ACNCA in the white kayaks, green buoyancy aids and white helmets. Sorry for coming a second or two late there. Very quick start from the referees, as we should expect, getting us away on time, and ACNCA looking for a fast response. These two teams both met in the Deutschland Cup in Essen earlier this year. ACNCA having the better of that. They were second place there. Liebherr disappointed not to make the semi-finals, so all the old rivalries, all the old results, all will be forgotten by the team that wins this particular game. But this in the round group. But first blood to Liebherr. They lead by 1-0. And that'll be the start there. Pre-match talk was all about get an early lead, get them on the back foot, make all the work be done by ACNCA, and they're certainly happy to do it, and that was fantastic. Antoine Heerbeck got a little bit of angle, brought the ball across the goal, front of the goalkeeper's paddle, into the far side of the net. Lovely delivery. Obviously did a thorough warm-up this morning because there was plenty of power on that, and we're tied at 1. Liebherr using their Route 1 plan, which was just to drive up to the goal and smash it, got them the first goal. And now we've got a real lively game. ACNCA with half a chance to break. Lovely block, giving a sideline throw. Just gives the Liebherr team time to get back. I think that ACNCA break was looking pretty solid. They're very good at delivering them. Really speed and fast hand passing would be my suggestion as the trademark of this ACNCA French side. Very difficult to defend against. They're very happy to whip the ball from one side of the defence to the other and then look for a little inside pass. Perhaps not the biggest hitters, they won't mind me saying, but they work so hard to get a man with a one-on-one on the goalkeeper, and then clinical finishers. Oh, you can hear the conversation now. They're setting something up. Yep, we've had an attack. We've reset the shot clock. Now we've got a moment. What are we going to do to break down this very powerful German defence? Well, shooting from outside, missing the target, over the top. Liebherr back onto the front foot. That pass just not quite accurate enough, and the player coming under pressure, but now the ACNCA defence fully back in position. Liebherr have got a player inside, number 6 trying to make some space, and 4 running through that space that's been crafted, but the gap closed. That's the kayaking skills of the ACNCA team. They were caught there, outpowered by Liebherr for a moment, but they just used kayaking skill to get back. Still made an opening for David Kaufmann to take an angled shot, but saved down. Huge amount of work going on right in front of the goal mouth. ACNCA knows if some of these big German players can create a gap and hold them out to the side, their runners will exploit that, and they have to do the work early. You'll hear coaches all over the world saying, hit him early, and that's what it's all about. You can't let somebody get half of a metre advantage on you, because getting it back can just take too long. Here he goes, this is an open goal opportunity, but long. That will be disappointing for the captain, Benno Rischer, because that was definitely a chance. He would normally back himself to score that. French team player, experienced ACNCA hand, well within the halfway line, and an open goal, that lob shot he would hope to make. But still tied at 1 as Liebherr come back on the attack, and again they've not seen an opportunity to break, so they've built it up. Conversation full on ACNCA defence. Passed inside, early morning dunking, in with the ball, up with the ball. never ever want to release the ball when you're upside down if you've got the skill set to come up with it, because then you don't know where the ball is, you don't know who's got it. You have to keep hold of it as you come upside down and take anything that brings in terms of a second tackle when you come up.
What I miss, Kelly?
Well, we're tied at 1. It's been a great start to the game. But now we've got the teams really reverting to type. Liebherr trying to muscle their way inside the ACNCA defence. ACNCA trying to use speed as their weapon. And turned into the beginning of the game. The first 2 minutes of the game were all action, but now it's just settled down a little bit more thoughtful from both teams.
So they have been playing to their strengths then?
Oh yes. At this stage in the middle groups, really that's where you start. Most teams will have that conversation almost at the pre-match talk will be, we know what our game plan is, let's execute our game plan and make it work. If they have to change it, they'll change it, but if plan A works, then that's a good plan. And a corner ball for Liebherr, ball retrieved from outside. Oh, and that's it. That was really just a muscle-made chance. A screen created, a player drove across, allowed a teammate to come behind, get a one-on-one shot and score a goal. Training ground move, really. And again, ACNCA have been behind before and come back into this game, and I'm pretty sure that's what they'll be remembering now. Oh, but that's a drop pass there, or drop ball, and it's come inside that powerful Liebherr defence, and they've got one of these breaking chances, and certainly having a look. Oh, again, that will be disappointing, because Marco Hopstock, senior German men player, would expect to make that somewhere around the halfway line. Open goal, no pressure, plenty of time. Again, on a training evening in Liebherr, he would be banging them in, no problem at all.
Open goal, easy goal. Should have been for Liebherr.
And it would have really put ACNCA on the back foot, a 2-goal lead. So for them, a little bit of a let off. And here we are. This is where we can see how they choose to get inside German defence. They're getting the ball to a fast-moving runner and looking to have him carry it until he thinks he's got a shooting chance there. Just released a little bit early, I think. And Liebherr now, that is an amazing pass and beautifully controlled. And again, the story of that, probably not the most powerful finish, but a wonderful piece of goalkeeping by Alan Lignot. Real pressure, because he had plenty of time to see what was going to happen. He knew he was going to have to make a save, and that does make it difficult. A lot of pressure, but done, job done. So still in it, 2-1, all to play for. Obviously still the first half. This game won't be decided by half-time, but a team would like to have an advantage at half-time, that's for sure.
Liebherr player just struggling a little bit there, trying to, as he's a right-handed player, trying to take the ball across his body. You're always going to have less power than if you're coming in from the left, aren't you?
And now they're resetting things. They had a screen on the left that gave them the goal last time, and it's gone now. Oh, and this is unusual. Oh, well cut across. But the ACNCA team will struggle if they let the Liebherr players drift in, threatening shots like that. Getting closer and closer to the goal sooner or later, that will cost them, but they got away with it there.
ACNCA 3-1, just doing...
Oh, that is an incredible shot, just incredible. That's Frank Besson in off the top bar, a half underarm shot just sweeping round, and an awful lot of power on it, and that gives a 3-1 lead to the Liebherr team, and now ACNCA have to find a response.
Just about to compliment ACNCA on their 3-1, but unfortunately, commentator's curse, it's come to me, Curly.
Well, it's easy done. They were playing very well, but brilliant shot, really. That was the story of it. It wasn't a defensive mistake as such, so they were just beaten by a nice piece of play.
ACNCA once again crossing over the back when they are...
Yeah, well, you can see on the front of the defence, the player's just getting no change there. He's been allowed inside, and once he's beaten one man, he just finds he's facing two, and he's not managing it. But because of that, he's created an opening that has now closed as soon as I say it. Great work from the Liebherr team, but they found an inside pass and got a shot away, but that is a great play for Liebherr, getting a paddle on it. Oh, a bit unlucky, but they got a paddle on it and kept it in possession, and that could have been very, very dangerous. they've carried it out, and it keeps ACNCA on the attack.
Liebherr are all ready for the fast break there.
Yes, and ACNCA now are trying to keep the German line close to their goalkeeper so they don't have to battle their way through it. He's about 4 metres out, which will give him an opportunity to shoot, but a lot of traffic. And half-time. Oh, a little bit of what we would call in rugby handbags down under the goal between the two number 2s.
Defenders holding their paddles still.
Just having a little conversation with referee Dancer being called over. Little bits of frustration there. I'd have thought the Liebherr team could take that on the chin. 3-1 ahead. Actually, really nice lead they've got there at half-time. Don't need to be getting into a conversation with the referee. I'm pretty sure that's what they'll say when they get to their half-time talk.
So what do we think the ACNCA players are going to be talking about in their half-time talk?
They have to get closer to the goal. They have to find a way, either by making a screen or probably from their point of view, they can get German defence to commit to one side of the attack and then make a gap on the other and exploit it with speed. Their route one thing will be to score on the break, but the danger about that is they have to be defending, and defending against this Liebherr team is very, very difficult because they are physically bigger men, the Germans. So ACNCA have got to get close to score, and they get very, very capable of that. Those inside passes, the fast hands that we saw in the first couple of minutes of the half, are what can bring them back into this game, because they are phenomenally good at passing round through players, very quick passes. And of all the French teams that we see, possibly against a German defence, if they can commit that defence to one side, they're capable of getting a runner moving fast into the gap and delivering the ball to him. And it'll be a beautiful goal if they can get one like that. And this is a team that can show us that, I think. But it's hard. 3-1 down. You don't want to be 3-1 down against a big defensive side like Liebherr. But they've got a coach, and coaches in this situation's absolutely crucial. Someone who's watched the game from outside, is half a step back from the action, who can say, this is where we can improve. You can see he's encouraging them up. This is where we can improve. This is what we can do. This is a game we can still win. And they have to believe that. That belief is the most important thing. And for a coach to manage to convey that he believes and that they believe, incredible. Let's see if it pays off.
I firmly believe that Liebherr will be doing anything that they can to stop the French speed and finesse.
Yes, we may well find them accepting that they have to take a green card or two in the second half. They're quite happy to, if they have to hold the defensive line and shade the rules a little bit, and it has to get a little bit physical, then so be it. But these games, these middle group games, absolutely crucial, because this is where really your final ranking is determined, whether you get to a semi-final, whether you end up playing for 5th place. And so these teams know that they have to get through this group, and if they lose a game, it becomes almost impossible. Not literally impossible, almost impossible. Whereas if you put a win on the board, you're well on your way. And that first start, again, first possession goes to ACNCA, drawn a foul. The sprinters will take that little bit of a knock and contact and a foul. If that gets them the ball, that's part and parcel of the job. Oh, and that's it. They drew, exactly as I said, they drew the defence over to the left and got a player running down the right and got the ball to him. No product there, but that is the way they're going to manage to score past Liebherr. That has to be their plan A in this game once the Liebherr defence is set. Because the German defensive unit will move as one across to one side to cover a threat, and they assume that they can move back quick enough to cover the next threat on the other side. And ACNCA have got to use their quickness of hand to actually beat that move back across, and they did there, but the goalkeeper was up to the job. And Liebherr obviously just happy to slow the game down there. They've got the lead. A little bit of time that disappears off the clock is not a problem for us. This is very much part of the national team psychology that they bring, and that patience has actually created a big chance and a big shot, and they've taken advantage of them. That's Marco Hopstock, German senior men. They just look as if they've almost taken the heat out of the game, and that opens up a 3-goal lead. Now ACNCA, very, very difficult for them. Probably see a press off this if they lose possession here without scoring, but from their point of view, this little conversation you can see the three of them are having on that side of the pitch will be, we have to score here, we have to do something that gives us a goal.
Liebherr.
Oh, a fake pass fooled everybody, including the receiver. It was coming.
Liebherr doing an excellent job of reading exactly what the ACNCA players are attempting there.
Yeah. And here we can see the German defensive unit moving out to one side. As the threat comes on the other, this will all just come back across to close down. And that's made a gap in the middle, which again ACNCA very cleverly trying to exploit, but just being closed down. And I think there's been a fumble there, and that's just fallen for Liebherr. Once you're on the ascendancy, which definitely the momentum of this game currently with Liebherr is, the little bits of luck just start to go your way, your confidence builds, and that's where that is now, and that's what ACNCA have to turn around first. They have to do something that just gives them a little bit of a kick on.
Polo's as much of a mind game as it is about anything else.
Tactically very, very difficult, and that these twos and fros, ebbs and flows of momentum, absolutely crucial, and the good coaches can read that, the good captains can read that, and this is a lot of the experience, what experienced players bring to a team, the ability to see where these changes are out of the back of the hand. And this is the ACNCA break. I think now they have to take their chance here. At 3 down, they can't really afford to be too circumspect. They have to go for it, but unfortunately in doing that, they've let a pass get spoilt. And we've got a break away here if Liebherr can deliver. No, that's been smothered, but that could have really been the end of this game if they'd got the ball away quickly there. Yeah, and ACNCA dropped back to a set defence. I'm a little surprised because at 3 down, I think they would still have a chance if they came back and got toe-to-toe with Liebherr in this game. They may well have decided to damage limit, but I'm a bit surprised if they have. Stop Liebherr scoring too many. I think ACNCA are a better team than that, and I would hope they could back themselves to do something. They're away again now.
I'm thinking actually they might have been trying to draw the keeper foul there because their defence was incredibly close.
That's another of those long shots. This time it was Thomas Rischer who took the long shot, but they've missed one of them earlier and that one, and I can't help thinking that possibly at the end of this game 2 missed long shots that were well within the physical capabilities of the athletes themselves. That could come back to haunt them because it would be a very different game if they'd both gone in.
You can almost see the long shots before they go in, though. It's the players who take that extra second just to sort of settle themselves before they take that shot, because in the heat of the moment, it can go anywhere.
That was superb. That underhand pass across the face of the goal, risky but executed beautifully, and the finish just coming off the bottom bar, and that's where it's dangerous. Because it came off the bar, it's given ACNCA a chance to break, and again, they've just not been clinical enough. But is this the chance? Is this the chance? No, saved onto the bar. Oh, Liebherr ringing the changes now, giving their players all a run out, getting everybody warm. They're confident they've won this game, and I can see why they would be. They're bringing their younger players on, they're giving people a rest, they're mixing it up, changing it up. I suspect they're also pretty sure that ACNCA will press them 5 soon, so bring some fresh arms on, ready for that. And they just want to see this game out now. Yes, they're starting to play the ball around, working hard in the defence, keeping a threat on. Oh, that's more than keeping a threat on. That's the way to keep a threat on, I've got to say. That's Frank Besson. Every team in the world would be grateful to have a threat like that. Superb finish, and really now a 4-goal lead. I think we can probably safely assume that Liebherr will win this game, but it's what ACNCA's attitude to it is now.
Liebherr looking to just hold that strong German defence for which they're known.
Yes, and why not now? They've got this game won. If they win the second game in the group, well, they'll be through, and so job done, really. First thing in the morning, 7:30 games will have looked pretty horrible when they were going to bed last night, but now it's done and dusted, and ACNCA will be trying to get something to take forward. They've pressed now, but I think if they'd really wanted to win this game, they'd have had to press earlier. But they've got this on, they're pushing Liebherr, and now Liebherr have got their young players on to get some work rate done and cover some ground, and picked up by ACNCA. I mean, the paddling side of this game, this is their strength, and I think they needed to get that out and about a little bit before. It's another of those long shots, and another one goes underneath the goal. Alan Lignol there.
He will be upset with that.
Well, we've had 3 long shots from 3 different players, all well within their capabilities, and if you don't score them, I'm sorry, you're handing possession back to the opposition, and it just makes life too difficult. And this Liebherr team, that pass there from the goal line, 3/4 of a pitch length, and now ACNCA are really on the back foot. And again, Liebherr happy to just make these long, accurate passes, keep themselves in the game, ride a little bit of pressure. Can't see the game clock from here, but there can't be very long left.
ACNCA doing a wonderful job.
It's a very good press, but at the end of the day, the only way they're going to get the ball back in this situation is either if Liebherr score or the shot clock gives them a possession turnover, and at the moment there's just been a reset, obviously a play on call by the referee, and Liebherr looking very, very confident with this. They're under a lot of pressure, but actually they're handling it as you would expect. I mean, they've got world champions on their team, they've got an experienced setup, they've trained for this, and they're making it look like that training's paid off. ACNCA very good at pressing the 5, but Liebherr absolutely matching it, keeping the ball.
Well
Nearly
held.
made a mistake there, but recovered it. And again, this has been an almost faultless example of how to deal with being pressed by Liebherr. They're quite happy to drop deep into their half, then one pass making up the ground, and that's a weak pass now. But the first one we've seen in probably 2 minutes of press, and ACNCA have got the ball back, and I suspect that Liebherr will regroup, will redefend. But they know if ACNCA steal 1 goal back now, it's not actually the end of the world. And that again is ACNCA's luck in this game, off the inside of the bar and out. And nothing they do seems to be just quite enough to score. We've all been in that position as players. You're down, you're trying everything, and just nothing's quite coming off. Yeah, you can feel the Liebherr confidence. Just set up, business as usual. Here we are. We're going to deal with whatever you throw at us.
They've done this 1,000 times in training.
The next shot we'll just put it out for a corner. If they score, we don't mind. We'll go back up their end. Now they're lovely disciplined end to it. They want to keep calm and just finish it off. And this inside passing, as we said, that is the way for ACNCA, but it's coming a little bit too late. Oh, there's been a foul on the goalkeeper. Insult to injury, really. That'll turn over possession, give it to Liebherr. ACNCA, of course, go to the 5-man press straight away. They have no choice. Tactically, it's all they've got left to try and get anything out of this game, but just running out of time.
I'm sure we will see the Liebherr players trying to scrape off the man who is marking them.
Yeah,
and they're excellent at paddling around each other and actually using each other as a screen.
Yes, it's a good way of dropping somebody, and again, they know that the French, very technically good, very fast paddlers, if they can use a little bit of that screen to help them, that's what they need. But here, just pure speed has torn it away. Could have probably finished that himself, but passed it on, made certain of it. Absolutely lovely.
Dennis Witt,
their German national team player. For those who've been in the sport a long time Liebherr player, one of their under-21 players going back into the past, come through their system. Absolute cornerstone of the club, fantastic player. Very engaging man. And their goal scorer, quite a CV.
extremely good example of the tough decisions that ACNCA have to make when they're playing five out. I mean, the goalkeeper then could have stayed with the player and possibly could have been in a better position. But the fact is, he chose to go back to the goal.
Well, and by that time, I think the odds are that it doesn't really matter one way or another. Shaking hands now, and we'll be back with the next game in probably just a minute or so.
For our next men's game of the morning, and we have on the pitch in blue Kilcock Demons from Ireland, blue buoyancy aids, blue boats and white helmets, and at the other end we have Montpellier from France in white boats, white buoyancy aids and white helmets. So the game underway now. Kilcock Demons retrieving the ball from that first sprint, and they're building the first attack of the game. Montpellier, team in white from the south of France, just west of Marseille. And the Kilcock Demons are obviously from County Kildare in Ireland. Kilcock just taking their time and building their attack there. Ball blocked down though by Montpellier. Montpellier ball for their first attack of the game. Taking a long ball up the pitch there, but back out for a bit more safety and cover. Kilcock marking very tightly there on the player with the ball. Ball blocked, but back down to Montpellier.
Kilcock playing a very, very tight defence there.
Montpellier just working the ball around the back, looking for that space.
Montpellier playing, trying to feed the ball in there, but nicely blocked by Kilcock.
So Kilcock on the attack again. Montpellier setting up their defence nice and tight there. Kilcock going to have to work the spaces in that zone. Ball into the middle, but surrounded by Montpellier players there.
It's been a foul committed though.
So Kilcock ball. Referees will position the player.
Looks like an illegal hand tackle just under the goal.
Whether he'll shoot or pass the ball back out. And that's a shot, but deflected. And that's out for a corner, so another minute's possession for Kilcock. Kilcock taking their time. Plenty of time left on the shot clock. Looking to work some space there.
Down to 25 seconds now. Expect them to make their move.
Looking for the shot, but not working.
Clock's running out now.
And the shot there. Ball over the back. And that's a goal line throw to Montpellier.
No product at the end of it there, but a good first possession for Kilcock against a strong Montpellier side that they don't want to give the ball up to on the break.
Kilcock had plenty of time there to reset their defence, so they're all at their end in their defence, waiting for the Montpellier players to bring the ball down.
Montpellier starting their attack much earlier. Nice forward passing.
Defence from Kilcock working extremely hard against Montpellier here, and they've picked the ball up there.
There's been a turnover here.
What can they do with that? Have they got a break on? Players are away, but...
It's going for the long shot, just wide. Montpellier looks surprisingly vulnerable on that break.
They did there, but fortunately the ball missed the target and Montpellier get the ball back. Quickly down on their attack this time, and a shot and a goal, and that is number 5.
No, it's been cancelled out for a goalkeeper foul.
Oh,
Obstruction on the keeper.
so Patrice Bellet will be disappointed that that doesn't count, but they'll try again.
Stays at 0-0.
Long shot there.
Good save. Or was it? Referees are taking a timeout to go and consider whether this had gone past the frame of the goal.
So referees just having a quick chat. Important decision to be made here.
There's a couple of things being questioned here. You can see them discussing as to whether the paddle was used against the bar to prevent the ball going in. You're not allowed to lean the paddle against the bar and angle it in and use it as a lever to stop the ball from going in. It has to be a clean save.
Montpellier with a player up in the defence of Kilcock, so both teams believe that the ball is theirs, not sure which end of the field to go, so hedging their bets, one player from each team in with the defence of the other.
The Montpellier goalkeeper there also lost control of his paddle. They could be considering whether he threw that paddle up to stop the ball, which is also illegal. Although it looked more like it was taken out of his hands by the force of the ball than thrown intentionally.
Referees coming back round now, so they've made their decision. Players just waiting to see what that decision is.
Still waiting, and it's
Goal
been
throw.
given us a goal throw.
So that's the first goal of the game.
Oh, that has been given us a goal, yeah.
Yep. First goal of the game to Kilcock Demons. Montpellier take the restart. They won't be happy. They'll be looking to get straight back into this game.
They do make a very strong start with the next attack. Gliding through the zone there. Strong shot, well deflected. New minute on the clock. Chooses not to take the risky shot. Played through very nicely into the zone. Penalty given. That very last paddle was just deemed too close to the hands of the attacker
So
as he was taking the shot.
Montpellier to take the penalty, and that's Baptiste Cotter who has the ball now. He'll be the one taking the penalty shot. 6 metre penalty, undefended goal, but still a lot of pressure on the players. And that was an easy shot for Baptiste there. So that makes the score 1 goal each.
And that was a well-worked move to get that player right underneath the goalkeeper. It was last-ditch defence there that led to the penalty.
Really, really good attack there from Montpellier. Good clean pass in, right underneath the goal, between the defenders. Do Kilcock have an answer to that? Let's see. just holding the ball back out on the defence, looking for their opportunity. 2 Kilcock players right in the zone of Montpellier.
Kilcock fighting really hard in there to try and get as close to the goal as possible.
And that was a bit of a wild shot there, but it looks like it was deflected by Montpellier to give the Kilcock Demons a corner ball.
Yeah, clock was running out there. They kept passing the ball between them, and one of them eventually had to try and shoot.
Montpellier just pushing the defence out a bit more, right on the 6-metre line there.
Kilcock playing a permanent 2 inside the defence there.
Looking for that space to get the ball in, but it's not coming at the moment.
Now Montpellier doing a very good job of managing to keep the 2 inside under control whilst also not making themselves vulnerable on the flank.
And that was a shot there from Kilcock, blocked down. Montpellier possession, looking for that fast break, but ball didn't come.
Nicely played up the pitch there.
Montpellier not taking any silly chances there, just keeping the ball in their possession, passing it back out.
Still 1-1 in this game and not long left on the first half.
Ball dropped there, so it'll be reset.
Foul given against Montpellier there. So Kilcock will have at least one more opportunity before the end of the half. That was a bad mistake there, just left the ball behind him. He's very lucky to get the ball back after that. The Montpellier player falling onto the boat as he attempted to gain possession.
Players will be aware of just how much time they've got left, what's on the shot clock. Looking for that last-ditch attempt of this half.
Only 10 seconds left on the clock now. That might be game time.
A great block from Montpellier there.
There we go, that's the end of the first half.
So we're going to half-time, 1 goal each. First half of a great game, end-to-end action all the way through.
Strong performance from Kilcock against a very well-regarded Montpellier team.
Yeah, I think, as we say, there are no easy teams in this competition. You have the top 2 teams from each nation's national league structure, so every team in this competition is of a very, very high standard.
I think both teams will be slightly frustrated to be making small mistakes, just dropping the ball and leaving it behind them, not quite focusing on keeping the possession before moving the ball on.
Yeah, the first game of the second day of competition. Every game counts in this round. They'll be looking for the highest position they can get. Nobody wants to lose a game. And as we said, they're more on an even keel today through the first groups. They've decided their placings in the league structure, and they're playing much of a likeness on all their games today. So we're going to have some very, very close games as the day goes on. Team chats now just going on. Decide how they're going to play the second half. Obviously, they'll be looking to clean up all the mistakes that were made in the first half. I think Montpellier much more clinical in that their attack in particular, certainly under the goal, some nice passing going in between the defenders. Just need to tidy up that last pass so they're not giving away fouls.
Be interesting to see how they both change tactically here. First time these teams will have played each other in a long time, I imagine, if at all, actually. So seeing each other out, trying to work out how the attack is working, how they can penetrate the defence.
The Montpellier team made the final of this event last year, where they played Essen. Rothmühl Essen being the winners last year. But they are the French National Division 1 champions currently.
It looks like we're just about ready to restart here. Referees moving to take the positions.
Yeah, teams starting to line up. And we'll get this second half away very shortly. Score standing at 1 goal apiece for Montpellier and Kilcock Diedemans. Referee just talking to one of the Montpellier players. It's the captain.
Unusual to see the captain of a team try and speak to both referees before the start of a second half.
That's David Linnett. He's one of the senior French team players.
Not sure whether that will actually do him any favours.
He's possibly looking for clarification over something. Heading back to his line now.
So we're about ready to go here. It looks like Hugo Esmiro from Montpellier is going to line up from the sprint.
And the second half underway.
Patrick Mooney. And Mooney comes away with it. Very nicely taken. Kept his eyes on the ball right to the end. So Kilcock secure possession at the start of this second half. Finally balanced game at 1-1.
Montpellier just setting up their defence as Kilcock bring the ball down the pitch. Once again, Kilcock have 2 of their players trying to get into the centre of that Montpellier zone, working their way in, looking to make some space for their outside players.
Montpellier playing the back 3 slightly higher this time. There's been an illegal kayak tackle in there though. So Kilcock get the ball.
Free
and
shot
another 60
there.
seconds.
Passed out.
It's a nice pass over the top, good space.
Good shot there, but blocked down.
Had a man inside as well. Both options were on for him there.
Baptiste Cotter with the block, but just blocking it outside on the sideline throw to Kilcock Demons.
And that was a nice switch of direction there. Had drawn all the players over to one side, managed to get it across the other side with speed. And again, same player with the free space. Well cut off by the Montpellier.
Montpellier players working hard in this defence to keep the Kilcock Demons out. Pressure on them all the time, just blocking their way in.
15 seconds on the shot clock here. Montpellier will not want to give up another foul. They're pressing out a little higher on them as well, forcing them to take that shot now from 4 seconds from distance. They have to shoot now. They do. Foul's been given. Possession of the ball. Referee has judged the shot clock to have run out before the shot was taken there, so Montpellier getting the ball.
That's not something you see very often these days, the shot clock running out. Most teams do get the shot away in time.
Montpellier taking a very quick shot there in their possession. It's the first possession of this half that they've had. Straight up the pitch, straight for a shot. Blocked.
Yeah, Kilcock with majority of the possession in this half so far. They seem to have the slightly upper hand at the moment against this great French team.
Kilcock seem more keen to keep hold of possession and run down the clock, work their tactic.
They're taking their shots and hoping that if it does get blocked, it comes out for their possession once again. But
they'll be pleased that the scoreline is at 1-1 at the moment as well. You know, this is a strong, really good, well-regarded French team, and they're going toe-to-toe with them. In fact,
ball picked up there by Montpellier. Great pickup. Foul by Kilcock.
Patrick Mooney trying to cut down the break. Can he get there? He managed to get a paddle to it, but couldn't quite prevent that going in. Really good tracking back there, but Montpellier take the first goal of the second half on the break.
That takes the score to Montpellier 2, Kilcock Demons 1. So despite having a lot less possession than Kilcock, Montpellier have managed to score.
And that break is the risk when you play two players inside the zone. You don't have the men behind to be able to track back and prevent the break from happening at such speed.
And the French team are very, very quick as well. They're not just they're very fit and very fast.
Oh, the French players are some of the fastest in the world for sure. So Kilcock no longer have the luxury of all the time left on the clock. A goal down. Still playing through the phases here though. Down to under 20 on the shot clock now. It's been a foul given though, so that will reset for them.
Oh, missed pass there. Just touched by the Montpellier player, putting it out of reach of the Kilcock Demons player. Sideline throw to Montpellier. Long ball up.
Very long. Has he managed to take it? He has. Can they cover it? Oh, well saved. Very well saved. Montpellier player had a man underneath the goal there. Maybe he should have tried to get the ball to him rather than go for it himself.
Yeah.
That is a very, very good block tracking back by the Kilcock player though. It's kept them in this game for now.
Kilcock the team that are down though, so they still need to get possession back. Gone back into their traditional defence. They're not in any hurry just yet.
You can see the experience of the French team coming through here. Earlier on in the game, they were quite happy to attack early and shoot. Now they're just running a little time off the clock before they make their attack. Nicely played in there.
Good block there. And that goes out for a corner, so Montpellier have the pleasure of another minute on the clock.
So under 4 minutes left now. It won't be long until Kilcock have to change their tactic here, and if they want to push for the win in this second group stage, to go for it. Oh, very nice finish.
Play there.
Fantastic
That's
finish.
Once again, Baptiste Cotter with the goal for Montpellier. Good clean passing straight into the inside of the zone there. And a shot, clinical and on target, just like his last one.
Right into the top right-hand corner.
That gives Montpellier a 3-1 lead.
So Kilcock will have to rush now.
Good work there by Kilcock, getting that ball across the zone. Can they get a shot away? They need 2 goals now to equalise the scores.
Maybe
3
the case
goals
that they
to
don't
win.
want to give up any goal difference further in this game if they're tight with another team in their group.
No, we don't need results yet within these group games, but all the goal difference will count at the end of the league
So it's a
table.
fine balance between risking it to get a result back and
And that's a foul. Illegal paddle foul in that zone area.
nice shot, well saved there. That was going to nestle in off the bar.
Montpellier with the ball. They're looking to break again, but ball not quickly
So
away this time.
Kilcock seem to be tracking back with the player, although they've got a man short at the moment. Beginning to pick up their players now. There's still a man free from Montpellier at the moment.
They're on the 5 out now. Man-for-man marking.
.24 seconds left on the shot clock here. Montpellier going for the go around. He makes it. That's the speed of the
Great
Montpellier
pass up.
players showing through. Just backed himself to burn the player there and managed it. Oh, behind
That's
the
a
back.
shot from behind
Behind
the
the
back,
back door shot.
but out for a goal line throw.
I think he only did that because time was running out on the clock there.
And that's a minute less that Kilcock have to score. Oh, a long shot there,
Goes for a
but
long open goal
over the
shot.
bar. Over the bar, giving away possession.
So this game will now close up with a Montpellier win. A very tight game throughout the first half. Montpellier just pulling away in the second with that fast break and then that perfect goal.
Kilcock just coming out to meet the players now. Montpellier are going to look for a last shot, I would imagine.
Oh, good save.
Yeah,
he's finished it
and
off.
that's in the net.
That'd be frustrating for Kilcock.
It will, very frustrating.
No, they know they weren't going to win that game, but they didn't need to give up that last goal at the end.
And that's full time, so 4 goals to Montpellier, 1 to Kilcock Demons. And we will be back shortly with our first women's game on pitch 1 this morning. Again featuring Montpellier and also CD Loire Atlantique.
An all French clash.
And welcome to the 8:30 game, running just a couple of minutes behind. Whoever thought that that would happen at a canoe polo tournament. We have the first ladies' game of the day between two French sides, Montpellier, slightly southwest of Marseille, and Loire Atlantique from France. The Loire Atlantique side are the current European club champions, and they are in the white kayaks, purple and white buoyancy vests and black helmets, and they've just conceded the first foul for a holding offence off the charge start against the Montpellier team in the blue kayaks, blue buoyancy aids and white helmets. So this is a battle at the top of the French Ladies League. This is our chance to see what their Ladies League looks like. Loire Atlantique in the white kayaks, the winners this year. They pipped Montpellier to the title, so they both get the invite here. They both attended, and they've ended up meeting in this middle crossover group. Now, how will their home rivalries translate to a cold Sunday morning in Nottingham? 20 minutes to find out. First consolidated attack to Loire Atlantique. As you would expect, a slightly cagey start, testing out both know each other well. Nothing cagey about that. That's a phenomenal finish. Beautifully done by Colleen Becker. Drove down the right-hand side and just took a chance on a shot and just forced it in. And that'll be the start that their game plan of the Loire Atlantique team were hoping for. Get the first goal, get settled, establish their early dominance. Try and put a marker down for Montpellier that it was going to be business as usual and that they were going to edge it. But Montpellier obviously keen to do that. Turn that around. Optimistic pass around the back there. I think lucky to draw a foul. Let the Montpellier player off the hook. And the Montpellier ladies team setting up into what seems to be the start of every play for them. All of them sitting outside the defence of their opponent, then moving in set play fashion, all knowing who is doing what. Leading to a shot from about the 5-metre mark. Saved out for a corner. Again, quite unusual. Most polo teams will mix up their tactics, but the Montpellier ladies, as we'll see through this game, pretty much revert to type for every shot clock reset and every play. A coached move, whether they're called by numbers or whether they're opened up, but they seem to prefer to settle down to that. And I do wonder somewhere along the line as if they're telling their Loire Atlantique rivals exactly what's doing, because they must have seen it many times, but it must work for them. They keep going for it. And now in a little bit of open play, trying to find a gap. There's a player running through the middle, can't deliver. And again, just coming out, communicating that they are going to start the next play. Time-honoured fashion. They've got a player inside, Melanie Koning, trying to work the defence out of the way. Scream driving a gap across on the left-hand side of the attack and then pulling the ball over to try and exploit that pressure they've created, but closed down very, very quickly. Very, very well by Melissa Le Dormeur. Oh, and that's more than half a chance. That was well finished. Out of nowhere, really, it's fair to say. Annie Chevalier. Swinging arm shot. Managing to level the score up at ones. So we can expect this game to be tight to the wire. I think it could go either way. Obviously, the form book would side slightly with Loire Atlantique, but their early lead has been pegged back. Now can they respond and re-establish it? Long way to go in this game as the autumn sunlight brightens the pitch. Loire Atlantique staying on the attack, but nothing very positive just yet. Shot clock drifting down into the 20s. They'll be forced to do something, and that's the something they've chosen to do. Bury it in the back of the net. Route 1. If you've got to take your speculative shot, then take it like that. Kéline Belker again, her second goal just slammed in. Slam one in from the right-hand side of the goal, that one from the left. That finish proving just a little bit too much for the Montpellier keeper, and once again, carbon copy of the start of the other attacks in this game. Montpellier driving in, but not getting any real penetration. Can they find an inside pass? Yes, they can, but facing away. Next driver is Melanie Koenig, 10. Chance comes, recycled out very nicely. When that fell to Nace Safini, you think that that's a good opportunity, but not finished. And now 2-1, Loire Atlantique lead, and they have possession of the ball and moving up the field. You can feel that 1-goal lead affecting their urgency, just slowing it down. You can see them looking across. We're set. 20 or 30 seconds disappear off the shot clock each possession. They won't mind now. Loire Atlantique enjoying that lead at the moment for a few seconds. Threatening shots. Again, running the clock down a little bit, looking for a chance. Trying to work those angles. Obviously, that angle shot's given them 2 goals. Tried to make another one. This time saved out for a corner, reset the clock. The Loire Atlantique team not quite so predictable in this offensive position, trying different options. That was a dribble and a cut inside pass, very nicely done too, but made a little bit of angle for herself, but couldn't finish it, and saved by the goalkeeper. This has just settled into a little pattern of this. Loire Atlantique attack, Montpellier save, Loire Atlantique corner, leads to the next attack. Montpellier need to do something sooner or later to win back possession of the ball. Not yet, but at some point they can't allow Loire Atlantique to just scrub time and time, minute after minute off the clock. Yes, no urgency at all from Loire Atlantique. Experienced. They've got a 1-goal lead, and they'd very much like to make sure they score the next goal, but they're certainly not letting anything rush them. One first really weak shot we've seen from them going, oh no, forgive me, tipped out wide by the Montpellier defence, and yet another corner. Has been an endless string of corners here. I think that both teams at the moment looking towards half-time. Montpellier not prepared to take a risk and push out early, and the Loire Atlantique team feeling no pressure to chase another goal. If Montpellier do get back into this, they may rue this slightly relaxed pace they're putting on themselves. Swinging the ball across, looking for these angle shots. These are the shots they've done, and by doing that, they've created a space inside to exploit. Nothing doing there, not getting through the defender, not forcing a save from the keeper. A little bit speculative, and Montpellier have the ball. Reset of the shot clock for them, as you might expect. Loire Atlantique running back to their goal, getting their defence set. And I think that they are assuming, as I would assume, that Montpellier will drop outside that and set up a set play style attack. And to disrupt that, fair credit to Loire Atlantique, they've sent someone to chase. stop Montpellier getting into their groove, doing their usual thing, and so Montpellier have taken a long shot that's gone over the top. So a little change in tactic from Loire Atlantique, and that's turned over possession quite nicely for them, so we may see a bit more of that. And as the first half draws to the close, the pattern of this half has been quite steady. Since Loire Atlantique took that 2-goal-to-1 lead, the shape of this game has looked pretty much like this, with them holding a confident position in front of the Montpellier defence, no real urgency to score, and Montpellier not in any big rush to come and challenge for the ball. Letting the shot clock do the work for them, hoping that the shot that does come will be weak enough for them to bring it down and get possession. But so far, the Loire Atlantique shots have all had enough on them that they've been going out for corners and just recycling the ball for themselves. Oh, and that's half time. So we go into the 3-minute break. Loire Atlantique lead by 2-goals-to-1 over Montpellier. So two French teams, as we mentioned, the two qualifying French teams for the European Club Championships facing each other here in the mid-round group. Very, very tight, very, very cagey. Comes partly from the Sunday morning feeling, but more I suspect from the fact that the teams know each other so well. They don't want to take a mistake home, they don't want to do anything silly, and they want to make sure that they give themselves the best chance of progressing out of this group. And that means this game is important, because a win here really sets them up, but they mustn't get beaten badly in case it's a tie later and so on, all these round games. And so we've ended up with a very, very cagey game here. Very well established pattern. You can see the go-to tactics of both of the teams, and they're falling to type each time. Maybe something will change up, maybe at half-time. Montpellier is saying we need to change something. We're 2-1 down, we're doing okay, but if we want to win this game, we need to change it up a bit, be perhaps more adventurous in the attack, or certainly defensively. From what we saw at the end of the first half, if they wait for Loire Atlantique to attack them and make a mistake, they're probably going to wait till after the end of the game, because the Loire Atlantique team's discipline seemed faultless in that half, holding the play, running a bit of clock down, making one good opportunity so that it resulted in a corner so they could just repeat the process. Unless Montpellier can unsettle them either by scoring a goal or by changing up their tactics, I can't see them making a mistake. And on the other hand, the Loire Atlantique team seemed to decide at the end of the half that they weren't going to allow Montpellier to set up their traditional star-shaped start to a set play. And when they sent a player to disrupt that, it worked quite well for them. So maybe we'll see them trying that again. Teams lining up now as the referee prepares them and us for the second half. 10 minutes to decide who's going to win this tussle of the French giants. Ladies teams. Again, in the history of canoe polo, France, one of the early big nations to the table at the first Europeans and World Championships. They've supported every category, been to every event, always performed well. Considered one of the big canoe polo nations from back to the 1980s when the international rules were agreed. These are, as those who can remember that far back, the style of goals that were used by the French. So these players would have all played during the era of the international rules, so they'll have known nothing else, but these were the goals that their predecessors were playing to when each country had its own rules. The game's changed enormously over that period, of course, but some things are the same. The enthusiasm, the passion, and the goals. And this is Montpellier putting their marker down, getting the first possession and trying to make something happen out of the attack. I'm guessing their half-time talk would have been very much about getting on top in the beginning of the second half. They can't let Loire Atlantique drive it. And as we mentioned at half-time, Loire Atlantique have decided they're going to disrupt this set-up attack that Montpellier favour so much, and they're not sitting in to let them pass the ball around and set up their moves. And this does seem to have slightly unsettled Montpellier. They've found a way inside, they're dealing with it, but it's not what they would usually expect. And they've created an opportunity here, but it's a little bit of a long way out. But they've retained possession off the shot. Nice, Safini working hard to pass the ball back to Alice Janek. Yes, and this is definitely a tactical change up from the Loire Atlantique team. They're clearly not prepared to sit there and let Montpellier take pot shots at them for the whole half. And so they've tried to disrupt something, and it's worked very well so far. Changed the shape of the play quite a bit from the end of the first half. And Loire Atlantique have picked up a loose pass inside. No need from their point of view to break, but fair play to Montpellier, gone straight onto a 5-man press. That must have been the conversation at half-time. We're going after this game. If we lose possession and we haven't scored, we're just going to go and press, and that's what they've done. And that's it, it's worked straight away. The ball comes into the Montpellier half, but they pick it up. Great to see ladies teams making these tactical changes, trying different things. 10 years ago, simply would not have happened. The ladies team would have played their set tactic all the way through the game, certainly through a half, ringing changes like that. Quite sophisticated levels of play, and I think some good choices made by both teams there. Loire Atlantique in their turn, dropping back to defence, managing a good piece of defensive play to put the ball to hand and coming back up. Montpellier this time opting for a set defence. Either the press didn't go straight on and they dropped back, or there's been some other decision made or call made on the pitch. Obviously with the scoreline at 2-1, they're still very much in this game. They don't want to do anything silly. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see a bit more of that press if the scoreline stays where it is. And that really, Loire Atlantique, a weak shot from them. We've not really seen them doing that, and that's given rise to a Montpellier possession where they've dropped the ball down from the goalkeeper to a defender and come away. And now they're making some tidy passes, and that's it. That is the upshot. They've got a breakaway, they've moved the ball up the field, and Annie Chevalier is the final piece in the jigsaw that puts the ball in the back of the net. So, as we run to about 7 minutes remaining, 6 or 7 minutes remaining, scores tied at 2. This is a fast-looking response. It looks like Loire Atlantique are keen to get right back into this. They'd let the game, pace of the game slow right down when it was 2-1 in their favour. And as I mentioned before half-time, they were running a bit of a risky strategy because I think the Montpellier team always had a goal in them. And now they've come back and level the score. And this is now Loire Atlantique's time to step the game up. Montpellier changed their tactics and made it work. Play on that illegal tackle, and that is a superb call from the refereeing team, because that play on there allowed Valérie Siboudet to slip through. All the players looking to see if the referee would call a foul. He was signalling play on, and the first person to react to that was Valérie, and she took her chance and she's restored the lead. Nice piece of refereeing and nicely taken advantage of by the Loire Atlantique team. And again, now they've changed it up. They've realised sitting and waiting for Montpellier is not going to work for them. They're pushing for this now. This has changed the pace of the game. Great for us. And be a little bit more open, a little bit more frantic. And for us as the viewer, that's what we want. And here they come. Loire Atlantique coming down the field. Big, strong possession. Oh, beautifully read and beautifully passed. That is a fantastic goal. Everybody thought that the Valérie Siboudet, who'd scored the last goal, was going to take the other one, but she cut it across left to Mathilde Reigenbach, and that was a guaranteed goal at that point. She had time, she had space, she had the goalkeeper off the line, and that makes it 4-2 to Loire Atlantique. Very, very tight game. Looked like Montpellier had got their way back into it at 2-2, but that response from the Loire Atlantique team has been superb. over the course of a minute, they popped 2 goals on there, and a cagey game suddenly is looking like they can bring this home. It's theirs to lose now. Can Montpellier get something? They'd got the momentum going back their way, and then Loire Atlantique have just stolen it straight back. Yeah, it's a wake-up now. Really, Montpellier have got no choice now. They have to chase this game. They were quite happy to ring the changes and keep it. And here we go again. Montpellier team coming out, all open, and the Loire Atlantique team have just put the marker down saying, no, we're not going to let you do that anymore. We've seen enough of that. And coming out and working hard to make it stick. They can smell the win here now, Loire Atlantique. Their danders up. The work rate's coming now that we didn't see at the end of the first half. They've saved it for the end of the second, and I think they're going to keep pressuring the Montpellier team, try and cut down the shots they can engineer, and if they're lucky, they'll nick themselves another goal and get this clearing away a win. Montpellier, on the other hand, have got to find a goal here. They've got to find something that gives them a good one-on-one so that they can score. Oh, a nice shot, but really batted away. Corner ball. Goalkeeper shuffles on a seat, readjusts. Yep, I'll concede corners for the rest of the game. No problem at all. And again, just going to try and frustrate this Montpellier attack now and get themselves over the line. Almost a loose ball there. Oh, an offensive foul. That hurts at this stage. Goalkeeper bumped there by one of the Montpellier players, and that turns over possession very cheaply. As you'd expect, they've gone straight to a man-for-man press, trying to tie down the Loire Atlantique players in their own half and turn over possession. And they have done so. There's been a foul committed, called by the referees, and that's been successful for them. You wonder if they'd done that at the beginning of the first half, at the end of the first half, if it could have actually paid for them. But now it's just a little bit more desperate, a little bit more pressured. Montpellier are doing it well. Is it in time? Again, the Loire Atlantique team being forced to concede a few fouls here as the pressure comes on. Montpellier looking for a goal. Trying everything, working, and another foul drawn. Referees being called on to work pretty hard here as the Loire Atlantique team use fair means or foul to just keep the Montpellier players outside the attacking area. Word from the refs, probably just too many fouls now. Ball's played across a little bit of space, not enough. Inside pass not controlled. These are the defining moments of this game. Oh, and that is a wonderful shot, absolutely wonderful shot. Nace Safini off the far bar, beats the keeper, makes it 4-3. Now, how is this game going to play out? Montpellier have lined up on the halfway line, ready to go straight to a 5-man press, calling numbers, trying to get it on, but they're just out of time. Unlucky for them, they gave themselves a chance, brought it back to 4-3, but the clock against them in the end, and so the winners of that game, Loire Atlantique, beat Montpellier by 4-3 in the ladies category, and we'll be back with the 9 o'clock game in just a couple of minutes' time.
And welcome back to Nottingham. We have a men's game now, just about to start with Kingston versus Rothmühle Essen. And Ciencias. Kingston in the black boats, green and black buoyancy aids, and black helmets, and Ciencias in the red boats, red and white buoyancy aids, and red helmets. So, Ciencias from Madrid in Spain, and Kingston from Great Britain, Hull in East Yorkshire. The game gets underway. Kingston with the first attack here. So Kingston just building this attack now. Ciencias working to keep the Kingston players out. And the ball goes wide. The player, Ciencias picking that ball up and looking for a fast breakdown. But held up there. Nice work from the defence of the Kingston player to slow that down, make them force the pass back. Kingston back into their defence. Working hard to keep Ciencias out. Ciencias using the players to just run through that zone, try and make opportunities for themselves. The ball's recycled back out. Kingston trying to chase that ball down, but Ciencias picking it up. Kingston putting the pressure on the Ciencias players already. They're out man for man marking here. I know Kingston have the ball. Up it goes, shot, and that's a goal. And that's number 6. And that is Ross Martin. So Ross Martin for Kingston putting the first goal of the game on the scoreboard. So have Ciencias got a reply for that? They're coming quickly into their attack. Oh, ball blocked there by Kingston, just going across the zone and out, but picked up again by Ciencias. Into the centre of the zone, the shot comes off, but blocked down. Ciencias ball again. Kingston come out, steal that ball from the Ciencias player. Beautiful pick up by Ross Martin. Long ball up the pitch there. And Alex Lothorpe bounces that ball off the bar, but back into the Ciencias player's hands. And Ciencias now on the attack. Alex will be very disappointed that that didn't go in the net. Open goal there. Now back in the hands of Ciencias. Ciencias team working hard in that zone, looking to make some space, get that ball into the centre players. Some good work there. A lot of speed on these boats coming in. Pass in, but blocked again by Kingston and picked up by Kingston. Long ball out, but bad pass there, gives it straight back into the hands of the Ciencias player. Ciencias now just taking their time, building the attack. Ciencias bringing that ball in, nice ball. Not quite picked up yet. Referee's just called a timeout there. Called two of the players over. That's Alex Lothorpe and Alvaro Hirjano Martin. Just having a quick word with them. Okay, Ciencias ball on the restart there. And that's a shot and a goal. And that was number 3 from Ciencias, Mario Perez Lopez. So that's evened the scores up now. 1 goal apiece. Long shot there from Kingston, straight back at them, but over the top of the bar. Ciencias just sending a player to retrieve that ball from the regatta course. Kingston back at their own end with their defence set up. So Ciencias possession. Kingston putting great pressure on these Ciencias attacks, but not quite enough, and that's the goal there for Ciencias, making the score 2 goals to Ciencias, 1 to Kingston. Fairly even game though. Kingston have had 2 shots that have been misses. The long one over the top of the bar and the open goal that bounced off the bar. So still all to play for here. Only 1 goal between them. Kingston attack piling in there, and that goal came from the outside on the right, and I believe that was Ross Martin again. So 2 goals to Kingston, 2 goals to Ciencias. Ciencias building their attack again. Some good passing around the defence. Recycling that ball out. Kingston putting the pressure on, picking up that ball from a foul. Long shot, long pass, sorry, up the pitch. Is it good enough? Yes, it is this time. That's Ross Martin. He didn't miss this time. That's 3 goals to Kingston and 2 goals to Ciencias. Quick turnover there, and foresight to get the ball up the pitch quickly. Ciencias now a goal down in this first half. Obviously plenty of time left in the game to come back. They will be looking to try and score before half-time, but Kingston once again plucking that ball out of the air from a pass into the zone. Ciencias pressuring the Kingston players this time. Man-for-man marking. Looking to win that ball back. Kingston players just getting in the right positions to support their team. Good turn on the ball there. Working hard to keep that ball away from Ciencias. And blocked down by Ciencias. Can they pick it up? Alex Lothorpe chasing it down, but the Ciencias players get there first. And that's a shot, but off the bar. And that ball goes out for a corner. And that's a shot. But that's not allowed, disallowed there. The referees want the corner taken properly. And try it again, but this time it goes underneath the bar with a bit of deflection from the Kingston paddles. So once again we have another corner for Ciencias. And a shot, again off the bar, second shot coming, and that one this time goes straight into the back of the net. And that is number 1, Alvaro Higino Martin. So that levels up the scores, 3 goals all. So exciting first half so far, plenty of goals. As we go into half time at 3 goals apiece. Okay, welcome back. We're about to start the second half of this game between Kingston and Ciencias. Kingston now lining up on the right, and they're in the black boats, green and black buoyancy aids and black helmets, and Ciencias in the red boats, red and white buoyancy aids and red helmets. Scores standing at 3 goals apiece. And we had an illegal start there, so Kingston taking the first possession of the ball. Both teams will be looking to score the first goal in this half. Kingston with the first possession, though. What can they do with it? Driving into the zone there. Ross Martin with the shot, and that is the first goal of this second half to Kingston. So that's Kingston 4, Ciencias 3. Ciencias won't like that. They'll be wanting to get back onto the scoreboard, working their way up there. They put the pressure on well in the second half to get that goal back just before half time. And that's a foul to Ciencias in the zone area. Just passing it back out. They have the 60 seconds reset from the foul. And that pass is blocked down, but picked up by Kingston there. And a long, long ball up the pitch. What can they do with this? Lewis Hammond on the ball, but he's been tackled. He's upside down. Passes it out, and that's a shot and a goal from Nick Spencer. So Kingston once again get another goal, taking the score up to 5 goals to Kingston, 3 to Ciencias. So Ciencias attack, we'll see what they do after they lose possession this time. They're now 2 goals adrift on this game. They worked hard in the first half to bring that back up to equal, but they've got a 2-goal deficit this time. And that's a shot and a goal. So Ciencias bring one back, and that's Sergio Villarruba Garcia with the goal for Ciencias. It's been end-to-end stuff in this game. No team wanting to go down here. Ciencias have gone back to their defence. In the first half, we saw them push out to try and get those goals back. Putting a bit more pressure on the ball carrier now. Referee's whistle goes. And that's a card for a paddle foul. And it's a yellow card. Yellow card to the Ciencias player. And that's number 1, Alvaro Hiano Martin. So, Ciencias down to 4. They've definitely got a mountain to climb now. Kingston with 5 players and a 1-goal lead. Kingston just piling the pressure on in that zone. They've got 2 players inside, 3 players working that ball around. Some good passing going on from Kingston. Ball goes across there. And that's a holding foul. Kingston ball still with a reset, but that's Ross Martin with a shot and a goal. That's taking Kingston up to 6 goals and a 2-goal lead again. Ciencias working hard here. Get that ball up the pitch, but they're being marked man for man by Kingston, who now have that spare player.
This is an aggressive tactic by Kingston, but even if they manage to get over the top, there'll be a man in one-on-one with the keeper if they did manage to get a man free.
Play on, says the referee. But the ball goes out of play and it's brought back for the advantage. So Ciencias ball. Ciencias can keep this possession. Shouldn't be too long before they get their 5th player back on the pitch. And that's another foul, so a reset on the clock there for Ciencias. Their ball again. Illegal tackle. Both teams working extremely hard. Ciencias now back up to 5 players.
Kingston haven't realised yet. As soon as they do, you would expect them to fall back into a 3-man zone. And there they have realised now, starting to fall back in.
Ciencias working really hard here. They're not going to give up the possession. They've kept it alive with the 4 players.
Oh, really well won there by Ross Martin. The break is on down the pitch. He can take it himself. Great finish.
It's a good shot from Ross Martin there. And that takes Kingston up to 7 goals to Ciencias 4.
You would think that puts them comfortably in control with only a few minutes left on the clock.
Don't think Ciencias will be able to pull this back, but they won't give up. They'll keep trying. As they did in the first half, they brought it back right up to the whistle. A shot there, but that's deflected out. Referee giving that as a corner. And again deflected down, still in play though.
Kingston couldn't quite keep it in there, it's gone for a corner again.
A mistake there by Ciencias, the ball goes to Kingston again, they're breaking. Lewis Hammond on the wing there. That goes across to Nick Spencer, who just holds that ball up.
Smart decision, knowing they can use a full minute on the clock and just run this game out.
Three-goal lead. Kingston looking very comfortable here. No pressure on them. Ciencias starting to just push out a little bit further from their
pass
defence.
inside there. 15 seconds on the shot clock here. Kingston have to work something if they want to get a decent shot away. Looks like they're happy just to let it run through.
I think the shot clock may well be the game clock now. We can't see the main clock. The long
Goes
shot
for the long
goes
shot.
up. Ciencias now just don't seem to be any rush. I think they've realised that they're not going to get the 3 goals that they need to equalise the scores. Pass across. Can they get a consolation goal here? Not at the moment. Kingston looking to try and get that ball, but picked up nicely by Ciencias.
Very strong tackling by Kingston here.
Good ball across the top of the Kingston player there. Have they got it clean?
Penalty's been given there for a foul under the goal. So Ciencias will get that consolation goal if they finish off this penalty. An unnecessary foul for Kingston to give away there right at the death.
So we have Alejandro Blanco Gutren to take the penalty for Ciencias.
Goal difference could be very important in this second group, so they'll be looking to get this one in and frustrate Kingston.
Big pressure for the players taking it, but that goes straight in the back of the net. So that brings the scores to Kingston 7, Ciencias 5. Ciencias running out of time here, but they'll need to get possession back if they're to have any chance. So we can see them just straight out onto the man-to-man marking, 5 out from this whistle. Pressure onto the Kingston players straight away. Kingston players moving to support each other.
Good block there from Ciencias, but Kingston still managed to regain the ball. There's been a foul here under the goal, and a yellow card has been given for a paddle foul, I believe.
Yep.
So another yellow card for Ciencias in this game.
So Ciencias back down to 4. Not able to put that pressure on now like they were. With only 4 players, they've dropped a goalkeeper back in. And they'll look to chase that. Goalkeeper comes out and picks that ball up very nicely though. And that's time. So game finishes Kingston 7, Ciencias 5. That's a great game from these guys. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes with our next game.
And the middle group game, men's game now, between the French team Montpellier and the Dutch team Odysseus about to start. Referee's got the teams lined up. And we're underway. In the white buoyancy aids, we have the Odysseus team from the Netherlands, and in the blue buoyancy aids, white boats, we have the Montpellier team from France. Blistering start. Ball picked up by Montpellier, but recovered very quickly by Odysseus. Two very experienced teams, very experienced, well-established clubs. Odysseus from north of Amsterdam. Massive shot there, absolutely colossal. Very, very nice. And this game started at a fantastic pace from our point of view as a crowd. Let's hope that continues. These games tend to start one way or another, very cagey or very fast, and we're lucky here. This one started very fast. Two fast paddling, hard-working teams. Let's hope they can keep it up for 20 minutes. Certainly be entertaining us. Montpellier team starting around the outside, a set play move, but coming up against a very high line of Dutch defence from the Odysseus team, forcing a shot from 5 or 6 metres out, uncomfortably brought down by the Odysseus keeper. Remco van Vliet plays for Netherlands senior men, made that save look comfortable. He'll be hoping he can keep a clean sheet through this game and help his team to a win in this middle group. Odysseus on the attack. And a corner given. So far, no let up in the pace. Odysseus sitting on the outside, as so many teams now calling a set play. Quite easy for those teams to communicate. They'll have several things that they can do as a set play move to start off, and then they'll freestyle it once it's inside. But that's, again, both these teams taking long shots from outside the defence. Both the goalkeepers been comfortably making saves and switching over possession. That'll change up at some point, but so far that's been the pattern of this game. And that was a lovely long pass from Montpellier and right into the hands of Baptiste Cotter. Took a shot and another save. So far the goalkeeper's being called on to make some saves. Not the biggest saves, but some fairly tough ones, and so far so good for them. Both goalkeepers being able to deal with everything thrown at them. Yeah, Montpellier there running a little play to try and get somebody to go inside with the ball in hand as a way of getting closer to the goal, but those gaps just closing. Such good defence as soon as the chance comes along. Again, very good work from Montpellier, up nice and close, but the difference is so far the goalkeeper's having the better of the first half, no doubt about that. Remco van Vliet and the Odysseus goal, that's 3 fairly serious saves he's been asked to make, and he's made them. And pressured on the line, the 2 Odysseus players there, but good to get the ball away. And again, the length of some of these passes now, top club players now, comfortable passing 25 metres, not too much trouble. They expect to go hand to hand, they expect to be accurate, and until the pressure comes on, they are very, very reliable. Montpellier in their 8th consecutive European Club Championships. So, been in the top 2, as we've said many times. Top 2 teams from a country are invited to this event. Montpellier, if they're at their 8th consecutive, have been in the top 2 in France for the last 8 years. That is some achievement. Very successful and strong league system in France, and Montpellier have been at the top of that for, in canoe polo terms, since the living memory. Ball retrieved there, the windy conditions and the regatta course gaping, sometimes having a little delay there, allows the Odysseus defence to get set, probably give themselves a little pat on the back and a little briefing. and the Montpellier team brings the ball up the field. Outside, looking round, trying to work a play there, and that bouncing off a boat again. That'll be so frustrating for them. Clearly they had a set play plan there. It looked like it was coming together, but the pass fired in so hard when it bounced off the boat, nothing they could do to control it. Odysseus now take the ball. And again, the heat gone out of the start of this game. It did start 100 miles an hour, but the team's now just settling into a pattern where they really want to get their go-to plan to work, get that first goal now, because it's been quite close. Both teams have had chances, but nobody able to find the gap. Now, is this it? That's a huge pass. Again, the passing accuracy of these players, incredible. No shot on, wise decision, wise decision. We've got a minute, I need a better opportunity than that, and is this it? Oh, phenomenal save, absolutely phenomenal save. Baptiste Cotter, French national team player, throws up a fantastic shot at the Dutch national team player, Remco van Vliet in goal, and their honours even. Great shot, great save. Referee just having a consult with the table, holding a fence out on the 6 metre line. And this keeps the Montpellier attack going. That was a phenomenal piece of play from them, but no product. Now, what can they conjure the next time? Very evenly matched, these teams, quite different styles. All the European teams very fit, very strong. Now all the players at this level made a massive commitment time-wise to get themselves in shape. Everyone can throw the ball big distances, paddle, fast control, but that's a lovely inside pass, and that fell just right for Baptiste Cotter, but couldn't actually make it. Tried a stun shot, took the speed off to fool the keeper, but there was no feeling Remco van Vliet. And now again, as we've seen before, the whole play just switches up to the other end in a matter of seconds. And again, optimistic shot, if they don't mind me using that word. Open goal, worth a chance, but very, very windy out there. And throwing with the wind, Remco van Vliet would have expected to back himself there, did back himself there to score, but quite well wide in the end. I suspect very blustery down at pitch side. And the pattern of this game now is established. Into the second half of the first half. Ball being retrieved from up the regatta course. Goal line throw to be taken by Montpellier. Oh, a huge shot. That is a huge shot. Christophe Bellat, Montpellier backman, came up the field, the rest of his teammates doing the work to distract the Odysseus defence, and just saw his opportunity and took it, smashed it in the back of the goal. So Montpellier lead Odysseus by 1-0. Really, we talk about beautifully crafted goals, but there's definitely a place in some of these senior men's games for route one, bang it in the back of the net, and that was definitely one of them. Odysseus now, they've picked up the pace. You can immediately see them running through the gears, trying to get the ball moving fast. They want a response. Mustn't panic now. They must do this right, but they've got to step up a gear. There's just no doubt about it. That's how the game works. They've got to snatch back momentum. They won't have liked that goal. Their goalkeeper's up to saving most of them, but that one there, I think just the four players looked like they were setting up a tradition attack, and the player just took the opportunity to just crash a goal in. If the opportunity's there and you can take it, you're a hero. Well done. Odysseus have realised now they've got to take control of this back. Started that by paddling very quickly, but now they have to dig in, they have to do a good job, and they have to score the next goal. That's what's going through their minds. Can they execute that plan? Three Netherlands senior men players on their team, so no shortage of experience there. And they're captained by Erwin Roos, former world champion with the Dutch team. So certainly experience won't be their problem. Skill won't be their problem. Tactically, can Montpellier pull further ahead? Trying very hard here to make something happen. That's a great break, but really, no. Oh, player pulled back. This is an interesting call. Thomas Bretonneau working incredibly hard, but isolated and on his own, but trying to create a chance for himself. And the Odysseus team have closed him down in numbers, 4 men onto him. The referee's having a little talk here about whether that was done cleanly or not, whether it was a near certain goal or not. This is a conversation, very, very genuine. Big decision for the referees here, because really it does come down to whether Thomas Bretonneau was had the chance of scoring a near certain goal. He was definitely closed down. I think the referees are comfortable it was a foul. It's just how far that foul's going in terms of sanction. And we will find out at the same instant as the players when the referees come back to give their signal. And they've given a green card, and they've given it as a holding offence. Clearly not. Deliberate foul. Green card given, but not in the eyes of the referees as near certain goal, and consequently not giving a penalty. And I assume that's because there was a goalkeeper in when the man was fouled. He wasn't actually about to shoot, and therefore not gone for the penalty. Dangerous position for a free shot, but Baptiste Cotter will have known that that was a bit speculative. Very, very solid Dutch defence, very, very solid goalkeeper, and I think he needed something else there if he was really going to make that work. So, scores still remains at 1-0 in favour of Montpellier. Odysseus will, as we've said before, they'll feel very much they're still in this game, but they don't want to remain a goal behind for too long. It just wears on you, and then someone will make a mistake or someone will get a little frustrated, and really that's what they must avoid. They must keep the discipline, keep playing well, and then they've got every chance of getting back into this game. As I say, no shortage of experience on the team, so we would expect them to have that discipline, but never as easy as it sounds as the game clicks on. Hard to tell if that was a pass or a shot. It was going fast enough to be a shot, but I've got a feeling that was a cross-court pass that went out and was played out for a corner. Getting the benefit of the doubt from the shot clock team and a reset. And that a shot and reset naturally. Dropping down towards the end of this game. 1-0 Montpellier lead. One opportunistic goal. Can Odysseus equal this up before half-time? The one thing they will know they don't want to do is leak another at this point. They have to make sure they time this shot or take this shot opportunity correctly. A shot that's bumped out for a corner is fine with them. It doesn't present an opportunity, and it keeps them on the front foot. So whatever else, Odysseus will be knowing now they do not want to leak a goal. That's a snapshot. Guessing we're on time. Yes, absolutely timed out. End of the first half. Very exciting start to the game, very fast, and the game settled into a steady pattern through the middle period. Then Montpellier really just crashed a goal home to take a 1-0 lead. And then the back end of the half, Odysseus managing to keep the pressure on them, but without any product. So we go into half-time, 1-0. And we come back up for the second half. Very, very tight game. Montpellier from France in the white boats, blue buoyancy shades and white helmets lead. Odysseus from the Netherlands in the black boats, grey buoyancy shades and black helmets. And a foul committed there. Too close, closer than 3 metres. The players sprinting for the ball must have at least 3 metres of clear space to allow for tackling and the referees to see what's going on. And on that occasion, the Montpellier team sent 2 players too close together, picked up by the referee, and that gives the very important first possession to Odysseus. I don't think they were going to win the ball otherwise, so that's great for them. Refereeing decision going their way at the start of the half. That lifts the mood. Now you can feel that conversation. This is it. This is where we do it. We talked about this at half-time. We get this first goal. We bring it to 1-1 and we're in this game. That's what they must do. No mistakes now. As I say, 3 senior men's players and captained by a former world champion for the Dutch team. So 4 of these players you would put at the absolute top of the game. Can they bring this game back from the Montpellier team? And again, as we said at the first half, Montpellier, their 8th consecutive tournament in the European Club Championships. Regular attenders. Oh, that's huge. Oh, couldn't control it. That was a phenomenal pass to Thomas Bretonneau. Huge long pass. If he dropped that into his hands, that was a goal, and just couldn't quite manage it. He'll be shaking his head inside. At the end of the game, if they don't win that, that could be a defining moment, because that pass was on the money. Again, in a training exercise, he'd have had that on the blade into his hand and in the goal in a split second. And they will practice these fast breaks. Teams do that, breaking up the field, a long, long pass, catch it, control it, whatever it takes, into your hands and quickly into the goal. Oh, a little stun shot took the speed off it. He's made up for it. Same player, Thomas Bretonneau. Just goes to show it's not always about the strength of the shot. That was a little fake shot. Just fakes that he's going to throw it hard, takes the speed off. The goalkeeper closes down with his paddle and it just goes over the top. That hurts the goalkeeper. Lovely goal. And that's doubling of the lead for Montpellier. The Odysseus side won't be shy about pressing now. Whether they go to it straight after this possession or not remains to be seen. I'm sure they'd be much rather scoring a goal and going to a restart throw, which is exactly what they've done. So they've answered immediately through Roy Deckers. Very, very well executed goal. Passed it down to the sideline, got a man inside, got the ball to him and scored. Roy Deckers there for them, brings them back to within 1. We'll have to see if they'll press now, but obviously they would have done there, but that's a much better way from their point of view to swing the game their way, score a goal. So 1 goal Montpellier lead. Instead of being 1-0, it's now 2-1. So 2 quick goals, 1 from each team. Oh, again, drifting down. Baptiste Cotter, French national team player, faked a shot, drifted a little closer, took a shot. But really a high point for this Odysseus team has got to be the work of their goalkeeper. He's kept shot after shot out and they've needed it. But this game alive for them and alive for us. 2-1 Montpellier lead, Odysseus. Nice, steady Montpellier attack. You can't blame them. They've got the lead. Mustn't panic here. They've got to just stay on top of this game. Bring it home. They've led all the way through. If providing they're leading at the final whistle, that will do. Need to just frustrate everything that Odysseus does for the rest of the game and they'll be okay. We saw it with the Montpellier ladies team and the men. They like to drop out deep, set up the play and then execute it. And again, that's worked very well inside to 5, out to 1. Shot came, but really just closed down. Even as he was shooting, you could feel that there wasn't 100% conviction in it. But it's bought a corner, buys a shot clock reset, and the clock starts to disappear. which favours obviously Montpellier with that lead as we come down to 5 minutes to go. They'll be looking at that clock as their friend now. Odysseus, on the other hand, will be looking at it going 5 minutes. Still plenty of time to get back in this game, but as it drops down to 3, heart rates will pick up. Ball comes out. You can feel the Montpellier team caught in a place where they just want to scrub. 30 seconds off the clock, now 20 off, and they start to play their set play. Quite happy to see that extra few seconds disappear. Inside, looking for a shot is the one, passes it by hand inside, very, very close, and very, very nice finish. And once again, it's Baptiste Cotter, does the business, finds a space inside, restores the 2-goal lead. And now the Odysseus team are back in a position where they were a few minutes ago, 2 behind, obliged to chase the game, and they will chase the game. Referee's having a word, clearly something in that last piece of defensive play. Needs just picking up and clarifying with the players. A little bit of body language there, I'm sure. It's all a terrible accident, Mr. Referee. And the referee, while the clock stopped, going to have a word with the Dutch team captain, Owen Roos. Again, very experienced player, former world champion, very well-respected player and coach around the world. A team green card. So clearly just communicating that there has been a series of infringements that the referees felt he wants to draw a close to. Well, I suspect that'll be water off the Odysseus Ducks' back. Their whole game plan now has got to be about attack. They're 2 down. Any defensive problems they've had have got to be put behind them because they really need to drive here. They can't expect to score freely or easily against Montpellier. They're going to have to do this the hard way. And I'm betting they're going to dig in and do exactly that. They know that the next big chance they have to convert. They've dropped out. Our problem with the shot clock. Referee's just making sure everything is set correctly. Unfortunately, referee's feeling the need to consult here. There's clearly a time issue. Referee's noticed that the shot clock's either is not behaving correctly. Just trying to get the time rectified. Apologies for the delay. It looks as if one of the clocks has failed. That'll just be reset, I'm sure, and we'll be underway. That's a shame because it takes the heat out of the game. I can't help thinking that this favours Montpellier. They're 3-1 up as the players are obliged to wait. It makes it difficult for them to keep the heart rate up and keep pumping. So as the defensive team, Montpellier can just consolidate and have a chat and think. Just makes it harder for the Odysseus team to keep their pace of attack up. They'll pick it back up as soon as the whistle goes, but very, very difficult to keep focused. And as you can see in front of the Montpellier goal, Mats Pell finding his own way of keeping involved in the game by just keeping that jostle going through the timeout period. Playing on there, referee's playing on, but no advantage to the Odysseus team. And we appear to be having another clock issue. Obviously, as we introduce the technology to canoe polo, improving the sports in many ways, but it can, on occasion, just give us a little bit of frustration. The technical teams working behind the scenes. Again, the players, just very frustrating for them. trying to keep themselves awake. There's a player there taking the opportunity to sponge out his boat. Very wise, something practical to do. Get that half a kilo of water out. Check everything's in the right place. Be as comfortable as you can. Going into the last 3.5 minutes of this game. Once the clocks get underway. You never know if that extra fraction it gives you on the sprint could make all the difference. And it's a shame, but it looks like we're ready to go again. Issues resolved. From our commentary position, we can't see the match clock, the main match clock, so difficult to know exactly what the issue is, but the technical people appear to still be trying to make sure that everything is correct. Teams looking to the referee, having been a referee in the past, it's frustrating for them as it is for the players. They really don't want these clock problems. Slows the game down for everybody, the rhythm goes, and as I say, the only people who get any kind of advantage out of it is possibly the team that's ahead, in this case the Montpellier team, who lead Odysseus by 3-1. Yeah, clearly a communication error between the main clock and the shot clocks. Got the people tending to the shot clock. Yeah, and once again, the players have decided to keep the jostle going. Might as well use your opponent to keep yourself warm. Fight for some position during the timeout. As we've said a couple of times, European Club Championships here in Nottingham, United Kingdom, a well-established event now. Top 2 teams from each country are invited to attend as club teams. Gives them a chance to test themselves against the European neighbours. Generally regarded by most teams now and clubs as a privilege to be asked to attend. Most do. The big nations, Germany, France, Netherlands, British, have been joined in recent years by the Spanish, and these teams finding it absolutely crucial to come here and test themselves. It's obviously in most of the successful club teams you'll have 2 or 3 players who play as part of the national team, and they get to see the international circuit quite regularly, very much experienced, but then they can come here as teammates and friends, the people they train with day in, day out, and test themselves as a club team. Very, very important. Going back 15 years or so when this competition was first starting, there would be a bit patchy, the attendance, but now all of those big nations attend, and most of the other countries, it's about geography. Somebody from, there are the Polish teams are here now, but the Hungarians, Lithuanians, for example, are long asked to get to Great Britain, channel to cross. But they come if they can, because to test yourself against the best in Europe is the same as testing yourself as the best in the world. These club teams are very much best in the world teams. They form the European national teams. And the circuit now, the referees running back round doing their best to save every second they can, but it looks like we're good to go, and thank goodness for that. And Montpellier take up their defensive position, and Odysseus wind themselves up, present the ball towards the centre of the pitch, and now everybody breathes a sigh of relief as our clock problems come to an end, hopefully, and we get our game back underway. Just to remind you, Montpellier lead 3-1. We've just over 3 minutes remaining. And the Odysseus team will be looking to get something back. The sooner they can score the first of these 2 goals, the better. Oh, fine save. Very, very fine save. A nicely crafted chance. Odysseus are going to have to throw some stuffs up. But Christophe Bellat tipping it over the bar. That was hard and high. Could easily have been a goal, but not today, thank you. Odysseus just trying some of that cute handling that you might consider a trademark of the French game. Trying to get the ball inside, not getting any change out of that, so coming back round the outside. And the French player there being called over by the referee team. Hugo Esmiro. Referee having a chat with the table. I'm not quite sure what this can be about. Just two players there. I wonder if there's been a little bit of over-enthusiastic contact between them. Clearly speaking to them both, giving them both the green card. Same offence, paddles, yes, a bit of over-enthusiastic paddle play. Very sporting, shaking hands, done and dusted. See you in a minute. And dropping back in. Now it is just compressing this, pushing it inside. They've managed to find a pass inside and the ball taken out of his hand. And penalty called. Very quick signal from the referees. Ball taken out of the hand of the shooter. Illegally done so, and that's it. This could be the toe hold that Odysseus were looking for. They'd have settled for any kind of goal, but if it's got to be a penalty, penalty it be. Matt Pels steps up for what looks like an easy penalty, 6 metres, undefended goal. Training ground exercise, absolutely simple. Do 6, 8, 10, 12 metres, no problem. But on the pressure of the day, it's a job that needs to be done. Plenty get missed, but not that one. And that brings Odysseus to 3-2. And now, game on. I'm a bit surprised that the Odysseus team are trusting the shot clock to work the ball back for them. They've dropped back into goal. As we come down the last couple of minutes, if they do get the ball back, they'll be trying to score very quickly, and I'm very sure. I've seen them play. They will be very sure to put a press on if they lose possession without scoring. But at 3-2, very much in the game, but the clock starts to work against them very soon now. Free shot for the Montpellier team, right in front of the goal. 5 or 6 metres out, a possibility, but a long shot. And a miss, which could be costly, gives the possession to Odysseus, who will definitely be chasing this equalising goal. Long looping pass forward, and the work rate is starting. 3-1 in front of the goal, looking to clear some space. There's a strategy here. They've dragged it all over to the right-hand side of the Montpellier defence. They've got a player 8 out wide on the left, fed it to him. They want to create some space. Yeah, driving the play, compressing the defence, hoping they can find a pass to somebody with enough free space for his shooting arm to get a good shot away. Montpellier have weathered that first piece of attack. Can they keep weathering it? Oh, I think that was an optimistic shot outside, and in the process, foul committed on the keeper, and the breaks coming from Montpellier. A goal now would pretty much settle this game as far from their point of view. They've got the lead. They don't need it. Oh, Wise heads. Baptiste Cotter plays it back. 40 seconds on the shot clock. By the time those 40 seconds have ebbed away, there really won't be any time left in this game. Yes, it looks as if the Montpellier team's going to work for one shot. If they can score a goal now, this game will be theirs. The Odysseus team looking now to break out, get onto a 5-man press. Almost, not quite, didn't feel safe enough. Still got a goalkeeper in. They're going to have to roll the dice soon, as if they wait. Oh, that was magnificently done. Absolutely beautiful bit of play from Christophe Ballet to finish. But because he didn't score, now they have got the problem that Odysseus are coming up the field. And that fumble has just given the valuable seconds that might actually let Montpellier back in. But no, Superb, because I came under a lot of pressure in the end. But Dylan Tough managed to get the ball in the net. And so the dying minute of this game, Odysseus finally pull it to 3-3 and equalise. That was a well-made goal. I thought the fumble that slowed it down and put him under a lot of pressure may well have cost him the goal there, but not. And now that's Montpellier throwing hard and low. Blocked down, and that's time. What a timely equaliser. Brilliantly done. We move this game now into overtime. So, a defeat there that Odysseus were looking at, they've rescued in the dying moments. As we move into the overtime period, this is golden goal overtime, for those of you who've not seen it before. The first team to score will be the winner of this game now. We will play successive periods of overtime. 3-minute break now, then 5 minutes of overtime, then a 1-minute break, then 5 minutes until Christmas or until one of these teams scores. No time limit, an administrator's nightmare. They worry so much about how long these games could theoretically go on. A lot of debate about how to go, but we no longer have penalty shootouts or any of that. Canoe polo games all decided by playing canoe polo. So this is it. Odysseus, we've got back into this game. We've come from 2 down. We've got the momentum. We're going to go on a minute. Montpellier, we've had the lead for all of this game. We were unlucky to let them back in, and we're going to go out and win it. Half-time, no, not half-time, but the break talk now, absolutely crucial. For me, if I'm coaching those teams, I say, let's go out and win it in the first 5 minutes. We win it or we lose it in 5, go out 100 miles an hour, and I'm hoping that's what both these teams will do. It's how they started the game. And I'm hoping that's how they're going to start this golden goal period. Full speed ahead. Win it or lose it in the first 60 seconds. Come on, guys, let's give us a show. Here we are. You can almost feel the butterflies. This is a game. This is the moment. Here, this is the classic heroes and villains conversation. A mistake here will cost your team the game. A brilliant piece of play will give you the win. Here we go. Nervous sprinting. Who's going to get the first possession? Could be absolutely crucial. And here we are. Odysseus player hoping for a foul there. Tried to draw a foul. Didn't get one. Montpellier get the first possession. And here they come. Oh, pass just going wayward. It's got him a bit close. And I think he'd committed to that shot long before he got the ball. He could have recycled that. Thomas Bretonneau wanted to be the hero there. And instead he's put it high over the top. And that first heart-stopping moment for Odysseus where they have to watch that shot go up. Passes. And they get to go onto the front foot and attack. Now then, game plan. What's the plan? Let's get this here. Driving in flat. Mustn't make a fumble. Mustn't make a handling mistake. Mustn't make a silly pass. Mustn't fire it across the goal so it goes out for a goal throw. But that's what they did. And Montpellier coming fast now. Looking to this. Slowed it down. Classic Montpellier club tactic. We're out, 5 men around the outside, talk up the play, and then execute the play. That's what they've done through this tournament. It's what they've done through the first half of this game. And now when they want one goal, when one goal is so precious, when one goal is a golden goal, that's what they do. That play broke down and so wisely just recirculated. Again, the nerves. They want to make one perfect chance. They want it to fall for their best shooter. They want it to fall in the right place. And that shot brought down. Again, sigh of relief for Odysseus into our hands, onto our attack. This is our chance, our time. Heroes and villains. Open goal was beckoning. Erwin Roos, experienced player, the most experienced player on that pitch. Saw the open goal and backed himself to score, but no, just wide. And by Erwin's standards, somewhere just inside his own half, a relatively short shot. If only. If only. As players, we've all had to say that, and I bet that's running through Irwin's head just now. But now, defensive duties, Odysseus. Face the next Montpellier attack. You have to deal with this. Oh, a fumble. A costly fumble. Odysseus up the field. Looking to the clock. Quick consultation about what to try next. Forcing a big shot, big save, drops down. Montpellier breaking away. No team prepared to press 5 at this point. Montpellier have got a breakaway, but can they deliver? I think the decision would probably be to not now. Yeah, recycle the ball, build something. Here we go. You can hear the instructions being called from the captain. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to push forward. Ducking inside, the fast French hands. Is this the chance? Is this the pass inside? A steal by Odysseus. And also they get the foul. That takes the heat out at the moment for them, and a massive pass forwards into the half. And a cut across. A lot of pressure on him, but this is half a chance. In face of the Montpellier goal. Can't make anything happen there. And again, the option goes to just delay. Very, very tight game now. 3-3 at the end of regular time. Oh, that's unlucky. A fantastic save there from Montpellier, Christophe Ballat, but it dropped down into the defence and was picked up immediately, snatched up by the Odysseus attack. Couldn't catch a number, but shuffled up into the top of the goal, and that's it. After extra time in the golden goal period, Odysseus beat Montpellier by 4-3. Running a trifle late on this pitch, but we'll be bringing you the next game in just a moment's time.